What's up guys, Cockmine here, and welcome to my Q&A section for Game of Thrones Season 1, Episode 1. As usual, I asked you all to send me some of your questions and comments in previous videos, and in this one we're going to be answering or discussing some of your thoughts. Now because there were hundreds of comments and questions, I've narrowed down to a few of them that I felt most of you had and were all talking about. And before we begin, just be sure to hit that subscribe and bell button to stay up to date with everything I dish out this season, because it will be quite a bit of stuff, so yeah. But let's get to it. Now, one of the main ones I saw you guys ripping apart were the Northern Lords for being so fickle in their attitudes towards Jon and failing to understand the bigger picture of the Night King threat. Some of you even told me you were so sick and tired of the same old argument about titles and lordship when there are other things to worry about. To this, I would have to agree, but at the same time, I kinda get where the Northern Lords are coming from. You gotta understand, these are stubborn people. In fact, they remind me of the Ironborn in their own way. In Season 2, Robb sends Theon to treat with his father and give him a message that if Balon attacks the Lannisters, then Robb will make Balon king of the Iron Islands, which is an insult to these people. The Ironborn won't be gifted anything without taking it first, unless they're defeated and forced to take it. Same with the Northerners, kinda. They chose Jon Snow to lead them, passed over the rightful heir of Winterfell, Sansa, and democratically elected Jon, mostly for his loyalty to the Starks and his willingness to fight for his home and people against the Boltons. But the Northern Lords elected Jon to be their ruler, passing over Sansa. Now, some people have claimed it's either because of sexism or because Jon is more well-known than she is, and I like to think it's a bit of both. Sansa is the Lady of Winterfell in every regard. She was married to the previous Lord of Winterfell, Ramsay. Her army turned the tide of battle with the Boltons, and with all of her siblings presumed dead, she should be the one to inherit Winterfell, considering Jon's status as a bastard. Where I believe the show kind of messed up was not showing conflict between Sansa and Jon about this, because I'm sure she was mad over it. And personally, I think putting Sansa in charge would be a bit more interesting than Jon, but that's just me. With the Northern Lords being fickle and complaining about his lack of crown, and it kind of makes sense to me, as annoying as it is. Most of them fought Dany's father and hate most of Dany's allies. The Dothraki don't have a great reputation in Westeros, neither does Tyrion's family, or Jorah Mormont for that matter, especially in the north. You can't blame them too much for complaining about Jon bending the knee to Dany, who they don't trust or like all that much. However, at the end of the day, he is the Warden of the North. He doesn't have a crown, but he's still in charge of everybody, so shut the hell up, Lyanna Mormont. Someone in the other comments section said this beautifully. Why is Lyanna Mormont given so much, power over these meetings? I just don't understand it. And someone said in another comment, they go, it's viewocracy. Lyanna Mormont got so much praise in her previous appearances, and the viewers loved the hell out of it, so in turn, for, show logic, she's given the most stuff to do. So, there you go. And speaking of Sansa, I got a small bit of flack and some support for what I said in my episode 1 review regarding her treatment of Tyrion, and how I think she should have shown him some respect instead of being all cold towards him. So let's look at both sides here, because this has been a fiery issue across the fandom. First and foremost, we often forget that these characters are human beings, and the pain they endure can scar them. At this point, I'm surprised Sansa isn't a lesbian, because every guy she's ever met in the past 5 years has tried to or succeeded in either using and or abusing her, or both. Not to mention that Tyrion's family is the main reason for her unhappiness. And she was forced to marry this guy, and despite their seemingly okay friendship, she still didn't trust him. She was a kid, I get it. And Sansa isn't the audience. She didn't see all the times he stood up for her, risking his own neck and defying Joffrey's cruel game to serve Robb's head on a platter to her like he wanted. She didn't see all that stuff. She doesn't owe him anything for being a decent human being. I get it. But at the same time, though, the effort he did go through to keep her comfortable and good spirits should have been noted and remembered. There were scenes between the two where they had a nice time just talking to each other. He treated her with respect when he didn't need to at all. She's not dumb. She knew exactly what was expected of him, and likely knows now that he risked his skin to not consummate the marriage. And no, I'm not talking about the fact that he didn't rape her. Like, that aside, people love using that as a thing. Alright, let's just remove that for a minute here, not talk about it. But he did treat her with some respect, even when other people didn't. So no, Sansa doesn't owe him a smile or a hug or anything, but she should show a modicum of acknowledgement or kindness. Just because someone is kind and respectful towards you, doesn't mean you should treat them badly. You should acknowledge their decency and return it in kind, in some way. It's common courtesy, and in that moment, I think she was lacking a bit of it. Once again, she doesn't owe him anything, but a little recognition of him not being the biggest asshole in King's Landing would be nice. Unless you also want to argue that she's treating Tyrion as such because he's with Dany and she doesn't like Dany, then that's a different matter. And before anybody tries in the comment section to, use the whole incel thing, trust me, I lurk incel tears and I fucking love that subreddit, it's hilarious. And no, I'm not saying she owes him sexual favors because he was nice. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is, if someone's gonna treat you with respect, you should do the same thing. Huge difference. Huge difference. The next set of comments and questions I usually get is about how awful Daenerys is and how they're Team Jon or Team Sansa, especially after the whole Sam thing. To that I say, I would cut Dany some slack. I mean, at the risk of sounding like a douchey SJW, in a male-dominated world, it is difficult being taken seriously. When you're a woman trying to conquer things, it's an extra layer of intensity getting these tough and gruff guys to take you seriously. Westeros is, feudal times, and they didn't respect or take women all that seriously at all. You can also argue that, at the Battle of the Caravan, they bowed towards her dragon and not her, some people would say. Though, on the topic of Sam's family, let's break that down a bit. Randyll Tarly is an idiot. First off, he betrays his commitment to House Tyrell for Cersei, who killed his previous liege lord, Mace, and his children with wildfire. Second, he chooses the side that doesn't have dragons. Dany's dragons have been well documented at this point, and I'm sure the spies and scouts Cersei sent, and even the strong rumors and stories of dragons, has spread all throughout Westeros. He still chose to back Cersei. And, not to mention, he was given an option to back down, bend the knee, and, that he would be allowed to keep all his titles and lands, and maybe, now that Olenna is gone, be elevated to Warden of the South. And, Randyll Tarly was actually loyal to Dany's father before the Baratheons took the crown in Robert's Rebellion. And he still chose to die by fire. Look, I just don't have any sympathy for this stupidity. It's just so dumb. I kind of feel bad for Dany taking all this flack. It's a weird situation, but she has to establish that dominance and show people that she ain't messing around. You bend the knee or you die. This is war, bro. We ain't playing a game here, But in all honesty, I gotta say, I do love the division between the whole Jon, Sansa, and Dany fans. You guys fighting in my comment section and on Facebook groups, I love it. Keep doing it. Keep ripping each other apart, because chaos is a ladder, and I love watching it. And lastly, everyone is asking me my predictions on Jaime for episode 2 and beyond. And obviously, he's going to survive this little soiree they're going to throw for him. Everyone's going to come in and get their licks in, and I'm sure Bran will come in and say that Jaime is needed for the wars to come. And not only that, though, but we did see him in the trailer yelling something during the Battle of Winterfell, and I swear I heard him yell Bronn, but it could have been a plethora of other things, so he does survive this episode into episode 3. However, does he survive the Battle of Winterfell? I want to say so, because if you've noticed, the trailer didn't go beyond episode 3. So, I don't know, it's a little dicey. I want Jaime to be the Valonqar that strangles the life out of Cersei. It would be poetic and Shakespearean, and plus, I do have money on it, so hopefully I'm up to $100 by the end of this damn show. But no, I'm expecting Jaime to be in charge of something during the battle. I don't know what he will be in charge of, I'm just, I will admit, I'm kind of scared from Jaime beyond episode 3, I will admit. I mean, I do like the character a lot. I just wish he'd follow his book counterpart a bit more, which deviated from it in season 5. But I would love for Jaime to get the same treatment Jorah got, where he swears to do the right thing by his Kingsguard vows and protect the Queen, even from Cersei. So if he has to die, I don't want him to, but if he has to, I want him to do so in either defending Dany or Sansa. Dany because Jaime, to me, will always be Kingsguard, and Sansa because he would be following Catelyn's wishes to keep her girls safe. So, let's just hope he can do that and not die. Come on, Jaime, pull through. Also, side question, a lot of people did ask me this, especially on Twitter and Facebook. Do I think that Cersei is sending Bronn up north, not just only to kill Jaime and Tyrion, but if he's infected by that prostitute that had the pox, or whatever Qyburn said? And I don't think so. I think it's a bit too late in Thrones to do germ warfare. Plus, I think Qyburn just saying that girl had the pox without any of us even seeing anything wrong with her, I think that's just a little, tidbit showing that Qyburn is very observant. So, I think that's all that was. I wouldn't worry too much about Bronn going up north and infecting everybody with, whatever the hell he might have caught or not. But yeah, leave your thoughts and questions and comments down below as usual. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, blah, 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 all that good stuff. All those links are down below in the description. And if you, by the way, if you do follow me on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, a lot of you guys have been sending me memes lately from Season 8, and please don't stop. I love the stuff you guys have been sending me. It's hilarious. I always love interacting with you guys, so keep doing it if you have been doing it. And I have a Patreon. Support that, especially if you enjoy the Game of Thrones podcast, which is back, by the way. We uploaded our first episode on Preston's channel. I'll leave a link to that below in the description. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.